Hello and welcome in everybody to a new series on the Box Score Network YouTube channel called Views from the Press Box. I am Simon Short, here to take you through a short film room, no pun intended on that one, of defensive tackle Peter Woods from Clemson. So you can look on this channel for these film breakdowns from me. I don't know. We'll see how many I do. If you like them or there's someone in particular you want to see one on, just shoot it in the comments or shoot me a message on Twitter at Simon_Short. I really like doing these. I do these breakdowns on my own podcast, the Simon and Friends podcast, with Ben Parker, who you've also seen do a lot of draft work on this channel if you are here already. Thank you all so much for being here. If you're here, like, subscribe, comment. We want to hear from you guys. We're really ramping up for draft season on our way to the NFL draft of 2026. So we're starting this first episode of Views from the Press Box off with Peter Woods because this was a guy that going into this season, going into the summer, was kind of touted as the number one overall prospect for the 2026 NFL draft. And so far that year has been disappointing, right? I think on a lot of the mocks, he's still considered a top 10 pick, but it's certainly not the dominating thing that everybody thought was going to happen this season. So I'm jumping in a little bit now. I've watched 4 games. I watched 3 games from last year to kind of catch up on where everybody was at the end of last season. And then I have the LSU game from 2025 queued up with a lot of the plays. So I'm going to quickly go through just my general scouting report, what I think about Peter Woods so far, and then take you through 10 to 12 plays of some stuff that I like, some stuff that I see. So, real quick, Woods is a 6'3", about 315 pound, is what he's listed at defensive tackle, who's played up and down the line of scrimmage. Last year on the 2024 tape, he was playing a lot of 4-3 end. This year, I've seen more of the interior defensive tackle, but he moves up and down the line. He's pretty athletic. He's certainly light on his feet. To be able to move up and down the line, and he can make outside moves, he can make inside moves, he can shoot the gap. But what I really like him as a stout run defender and two gapper. I think he's really sound and really stout against the run. He does not get pushed back very often. Now his superpower, the one thing, the redeeming quality, high level thing that I like to see from each person, what is his? I think it's reading and reacting. Especially to the run game. He has a high IQ. He reads plays really well without losing ground. So he's able to maintain his space, maintain his footing, maintain his placement, and he's able to watch and see what's developing from the play, and he's able to react to it and make a play on the ball. So I really, really like that. Um, there's technique and hand fighting to his pass rush moves, but he's sort of shadow boxing out there sometimes, I will say. It doesn't always lead to forward movement and forward momentum, but he has those moves and the athleticism and coordination to hand fight, to make a punch, to make a trap move, to swim. He has a lot of different moves that he tries. He just doesn't always get places with them. Not a lot of power. He's consistently not generating his own push through sheer force or leg drive or punch. He's able to keep his own ground with that frame, but he's not always generating a lot of power, especially on the 24 tape. Now, the LSU game I watched, he had a lot more of it, so it's something that he might just need to continue to get stronger. And I think we've seen progress in that even across the 24 tape later in the season. I saw a little more of it. So as he just continues to develop, get stronger, get bigger, I think it's something he'll be able to add to his game. But here's another thing he's great at. He has a great motor, and that is not to be overlooked or overshadowed. Really good pursuit coming from a 300-pound frame defensive tackle position. He's running all over the field to chase down runners and just be in on the play at all times. Um, a lot of time on film, I mentioned he was not only a 4-3 end, but standing up. I really do think his strength is going to be as a 4-3 defensive tackle, and he can do the two gapping, which I really like. But I think if we're going to see the really high level play from him, it's going to be as a gap shooter, and he's trying to get into the backfield and make plays quickly. It's good that he can two gap and kind of hold his ground and play the run really well. And that I think gives him a high floor. But I think if he's going to be a top 10, top 5 pick, he's going to need to lean into that one gap penetrating, really use some speed because he has good foot speed. He has good foot quickness. He has to, not that he has to choose one lane, but just on any given play, know what his objective is. And I think he's a high IQ player. And you can see when he's decisive for it, when he's just going to shoot a gap, he can make it. And when he's going to two gap and read and diagnose, he can do that. Um, but it's not everything all at once. It's not Jalen Carter where just like at any time he can make any move happen. He kind of has to go in with a plan. So whether that's going to be a team that has a specific assignment for him or a given plan of attack for how they're going to develop him, whatever it's going to be. He has those different skill sets, but I think his highest ceiling, most impactful role will be as a 4-3 defensive tackle who's penetrating, who's a one gap shooter. Um, and then I will say he just in that LSU game, and you'll see when we go to the clips, he just looks a little trimmer, a little more athletic, a little more juice, a little more punch to him. So as just he just gets older and develops and matures, like I think that's something just gonna happen for him. So let's get into it a little bit here. All right, so we've got this first play here, and this is gonna just highlight quickly. I don't like to spend too much time on the negatives, but just highlight quickly. I want you to know what kind of player I see this as. So Wood is over here as the right defensive end, so over the left tackle. Um, and again, this will eventually show the strengths. But he's lined up on the left side of the screen. He makes a nice swim move to get past the left tackle here. Um, but then he gets pretty easily clipped right there by the running back number 30. So I don't love that. I would like him to, you're not always going to run over everybody, but like he got taken out of that play pretty quickly by the running back. Let's see if we can play that one for you guys one more time. Um, Again, he's gonna hit that swim move, which was nice on this play. Boom, nice swim, but then he gets clipped pretty quickly. So I'd like there to be a little bit more power, a little more punch. On this next play here, you're gonna see the same thing. So he was lined up against this right guard right here, number 56. Um, and this is a play where you're gonna see what you want to see as well. So he gets an initial step on 56 before the right guard kind of gets his footing back under him. And then he's reading the play. Boom. He makes this beeline for the running back here, number 0. But 56 still has hands on him. He's not able to disengage from that guard right away, even though he kind of had a step on him. So you can read this as two different things because look, now he can work back to the ball. He does get a little push on 56. He leaves him in the dust. He gets back to the running back here. So, and he's in on the play for the tackle. So you can watch that play and see what you want. You can see, oh, 56 like had his hands on him the whole time. Woods didn't get to make a play on the running back until, we were 8, 10 yards downfield. Or you can see, hey, Woods reacted to this play. He got after the running back. He made the offensive lineman kind of work to him a little bit. And then he was able to disengage and make a play. You could see what you want, but I wanted to highlight both aspects of the game in that standpoint. So here he is, right here, number 11. He's lining up over the left guard. This is against Texas last year in the college football playoffs. Um, this is going to highlight that situational awareness. Now, in this play here, he's going to read and diagnose this as a screen pass really early. So he's not just going to put his head down and rush. Boom. He sees that's a screen. He stops. Now, he's going to eventually lose to the guard on this rep, but he was already in place. He knew that was going to be a screen pass. He did this several times across both the 2024 tape and in the game against LSU. He's really good at diagnosing when screens are going to happen and getting out and trying to make a play on them. Next up here, he's the defensive end lined up across this right tackle, and the play is running away from him. It's running off to the left, and he is able to not only see that, but he's able to set the edge, and that's going to allow him to work around this crunch block from the tight end. So again, he's lined up here on the right, on our right side, left defensive end over to number 74, the right tackle. The play's going to run away from him. But instead of just putting his head down and running straight to the running back, he's going to kind of hold this spot here, set this edge. That allows him to see this tight end coming over. He can diagnose that block, not get cut off by it, bounce right off of it, and boom, he's there to make a play at the line of scrimmage. So really good awareness there. Here, same thing. He's playing over this right guard against LSU a lot. So he's over here as the left defensive tackle, and he is going to shoot that gap. Boom, he gets right on the inside fast, okay? This ball is handed off back here. Here's our guy. Here's Woods up over the middle, right between the center and the guard. And he's able to disengage from 56 again. And he's able to get out there. He's not the one that makes the tackle. But look how quickly he shoots that gap. And then he's able to get to the play on the other side. So boom, he shoots off to the right. Boom, he disengages, gets to the left. That's the thing. I think that's the highest I think that's the best play that encapsulates all of this. He can be that one gap penetrator, but then he can also keep his eyes up and he's aware and he can quickly pivot the other way to get to the ball. So I love to see that from Peter Woods here. And then on this next one, he is playing over the left guard again against Texas. Um, and he's got some bodies around him. And he uses his quick feet. He shoots this gap again. So watch this. Boom. He beats that right tackle again, or this is the left tackle. He beats the left tackle here, and that guard is supposed to be like just enough in his way to slow him down, and he's able to just push off him. So he's got a combination of speed and strength on this play. Past the tackle, pushes the guard, makes the tackle in the backfield. So you like to see that. Here we get another couple examples of him just throwing 56, the LSU right guard this year. Back to back, well, not back to back plays that I'm showing you, but in two different ways. He's getting the space that he wants. So let me get that one again. So here he is lined up over right guard and center. He's going to get one on one with the guard and just kind of throws him down and gets to his spot, making a play in the backfield. And then again, over here now on our right side, over the right guard. And 56 makes a good initial rep at first, but Woods is just stronger. He's just going to throw him over. Doesn't make the initial tackle, but is in on the play afterwards. And then on this play here, same thing. Boom. A nice little swim, nice little push. So again, even on that play, 56 does a good job. He holds up. Nussmeier's able to roll out. Um, Woods doesn't get incredibly far with these moves, but this is better than the 24 tape, where, like I said, he kind of looks like he's shadowboxing at times in 24. Here, he gets a nice little swim, gets a little bit of room, gets his hands back up, they re-engage. He gets a little bit of push off. 56 might have gotten away with a tiny, tiny hold there, but nothing you're going to get called for. Um, so these next two plays are a lot of fun. This is all pursuit. This is all hustle. So watch him. We got a handy little arrow here. He's here as the left defensive tackle again, over that right guard. This ball is going to go hand off to the left tackle, and watch Woods go. Woods makes that play 10 yards downfield on the other side of the field. Same thing over here. Screen pass all the way to the other flat, and Woods is going to pursue, and he's going to be there for the play. And here's our last play. This is just a fun one. This is back in that Wake Forest game. And Woods tries a little double spin here, actually. Let's get another quick look at that. Um, doesn't super take him anywhere. So here's what I'm talking about. Boom, boom. Quick feet. That's nice. Good technique on the swim. But look, the awareness. Turns his head. Immediately is in blocking mode. He's ready to go block for his teammate. And there was a lot of that. A lot of plays where a teammate would get a sack. A teammate would get a big play. And he was right up there ready to cheer on and root for his teammates whenever that sort of stuff would happen. So again, double swim doesn't really get him anywhere, but look, aware, sees the ball, turns around, is ready to make some blocks, try to get some points. So love that for Peter Woods. So again, with Woods, I like it. I don't have a big board yet. Certainly, lives up to the first round hype. Um, Based on where this class is at, the right team certainly could be a top 10 pick. I don't know if this is a guy I would spend the first overall pick on or a top three pick. Again, all that stuff gets dicey. That's for way later down the road. This is just some initial, like, what's happening on tape. I think he's a very natural two gapper. I think he's a very natural, stout, high IQ, high effort player who's going to defend the run right away. Highest ceiling, highest outcome is he's a gap penetrating defensive tackle who's got really good feet. He's willing and coordinated enough to use his hands. He has to work on the strength behind that punch to really make it effective. But if he can just shoot those gaps with that natural strength that he has, and then that awareness for if he shoots the gap and he's wrong, or he shoots the gap and the play just goes the other way, he can adjust and make plays on that. That's a really high level, high value asset and trait to have. So this is a guy I'm pretty excited for. I'm getting into the rest of the defensive linemen. I'll have a breakdown of several first round defensive linemen with Ben in a couple weeks on the Simon and Friends podcast. So check that out. That's on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. Until then, thank you all so much for watching. This has been the first episode of Views from the Press Box. I am Simon Shortt. Thank you all so much. Again, comment, like, subscribe. We'd love to hear from you guys here on Box Score Network. And check out all the pods on Box Score and everything else we have on the channel. Until next time, we will talk to you soon. Thank you so much.